G'day, just dropping in for a little update. This one shouldn't be nearly as long as the last video, but I was talking to somebody who watched the previous video on this character here, and they brought up something pretty interesting. There's this item, the Holy Symbol of Baal. It's an amulet that reduces your cooldowns of every skill by a really small amount every time you kill an enemy. He brought up something that I didn't know. Apparently it scales with plus to skills, so I really wanted to test that. I had no idea. If this is true, that's such a unique item. I can't think of any others that are like that. If anybody knows any item skills that scale, let me know. I've never even heard of this. 32, that's a bit far in the future. So yeah, I'm going to recreate the character. Most of it will be the same, but the main things I'm going to change are one of the masteries, the amulet, of course, and probably the weapons. Because I also had another idea I want to try and tie into it. Something to take more advantage of the reduced cooldown. Already took a little bit of time to prepare. I'll go ahead and just equip a few things. I pulled one of the rings apart because we would need more vitality resistance, as well as a few other ones. But the amulet I was using previously had a little bit of it, so I brought this out now. We're sacrificing a bit of bleeding resistance to get this back up. Oops. And so this is the amulet. I've used this before in a couple of builds. Roughly 30% total damage, 20% recharge. That's actually pretty good. Like, it's not fantastic as far as the high-end amulets go, but what really makes it good is the refresh skill. Oh my god, I did it again. So every time you kill an enemy with this equipped, it reduces the cooldown of any skill you have that's on cooldown by half a second. And I've always thought, yeah, that's a pretty cool idea. You can do some fun things with it. Builds that clear really quickly. It's pretty good in the Chaos dungeons because there's just so many enemies around you. And that's about the extent of it. I've used it on, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 builds. Just having fun with it, but I've never done anything like this before. So first, I do want to stick with warfare. For some reason I just really feel like using it. Undo that. And my other thought is because we're in Mastery, it doesn't take huge advantage of cooldown. Not massively. Like, this comes back pretty quick. Doesn't need cooldown, doesn't need cooldown. The most you'll be using it for really is probably this, which has a pretty big cooldown. And these, if you really wanted to use them. But they weren't super important on this build. So I thought, I'd drop it. Which is another reason I brought up the Vite resistance before. We're going to need more, because we won't have this. And so, back to the choices here. You could take it in a few different directions, but I'd say the most cinematic skill to get reduced cooldown, probably Colossus. You get this thing up permanently. That's pretty cool. Yeah, no, another defense build. Shocker. It's my favourite mastery, sue me. This will make gearing quite a bit easier too. This one here reduces your strength requirement for the armour. So that'll save about 100 strength, which is pretty good. I think that should be it. So yeah, these are all down to 400 and something instead of 500, which is good. So the one other thing I wanted to do, the other idea I had, is to use these. These come from Immortal Throne, I'm pretty sure. They're pretty good. Give you a bunch of stats around the board. Health, attack speed, all skills. It's not like we need more than that, but the main reason I wanted to use these is kind of twofold. The Ancestral Warrior, which every time you attack has a chance to make one of these guys. It'll summon another one of those. And so I wanted to use the cooldown of the Amulet to get this down. And to play along with this skill, I wanted to use these, just because it feels like it fits. So they're all pretty on par. Unfortunately, the strength isn't. Yeah. So we'll have to bump this one up first. Unfortunately, we can't do dexterity and cheat a little bit. Okay. We will need one here. I don't like these weapons. I've used them many times before. And they're not too rare either. I found them in several hardcore playthroughs. Okay. I'll just go through and put points everywhere I think will be useful. It's pretty fun having plus 10 to all skills. 2, 4, 6, 8 and 1 from each of these. Why not? We've already got a lot. Get some more. Are they axes or are they swords? I can't remember. They might be axes, which means we can use this. What else do we need? Unfortunately, we won't be using a shield. You could use a shield with this easily. In fact, you're not really getting much from the second one. I just like to use both. Dual wield gives you an extra Ancestral Warrior. Pretty fun. Definitely going to be excess in skills here, I think. Yeah, still got 34. I bet you it's enough to completely cap out every skill. Yeah, easily. Even the ones we won't use or need. That's pretty funny. Okay, I'll just organize this character a little bit. I haven't tested this, and it has a little bit of a problem in my mind, though it might not actually be a problem. Put Whirlwind there. I don't need battle standard. These guys. Probably rally here. Colossus. I think that's really it. Like, yeah, we could use Phalanx or that's about it, really. But yeah, I'm gonna ignore it for now. Keep the bird simple enough. So this is already looking better than the previous character defensive ability was. And health too. It's got quite a bit more, which is nice. And so I will sink some points into this. Probably go up to around 600 maybe. See how that looks. 840, that's doing better. The health's pretty good. I think I'll bump this up to about, let's go 7,000. That'll do. 666. Energy's fine. I'm happy with that much. Yeah, I think probably this would be the best choice. You could probably put some into strength for more damage too. Like, what's the piercing ratio? No, they don't have any. That's pretty sad. So we're not getting any damage really out of this one. I mean, aside from the offensive ability when you crit. But still, I think the DA is worth sinking the points here. Let's just see how many points one in strength gets us. That's 7 damage. Yeah, it's not a terrible investment. I mean, that's some damage. Plus we get a bit of DA from this, which is nice too. 238 helps out a bit. Okay, so the main point of this now, let's look at our cooldowns. 280, 234, and 46. So even this has a fairly significant cooldown. Our recharge is at 22% already, thanks to the natural bonus this comes with, just the standard one. But I'll show you how this works. Actually, before that, the issue I was talking about before. I don't know, and I don't think it does. I don't think this procs if pets get kills for you, which these guys and this might get in the way a little bit and reduce the overall effectiveness of the build. But still, I wanted to give it a go. So let's just throw down all our cooldowns and see how it goes. Oh, well, you fuck's sake. I'm stuck in the pole. Let me out. Let me out. And then, there it goes. But yeah, as we kill enemies, keep an eye on the cooldowns. So yeah, you can see how this works. To really maximize the effectiveness of it, what you'd want to do is to get a bit more base recharge to get this down more. Because it's a lot of kills to get 280 seconds worth. You can see it, it does jump every time you get a kill. So what's the cooldown of this? 35 seconds. So about 7 enemies should, at least according to what the guy was saying, with Pluster skills working on this thing. Let's see how quick this comes back. I chucked a bunch of enemies. Here we go, this should do. Yeah, that definitely feels like it. Feels like it does work. It is a little self-defeating, the build, because I'm pretty sure when these guys get kills, it doesn't count to a recharge. Let's find out. Yeah, that is a little unfortunate. They don't trigger this thing, which if you were going to build an optimum build, you wouldn't use this, you wouldn't use these. You'd probably pick something a little closer to the previous version of this build. So to work a bit more cooldown in, it's tough. You'd probably have to make more use of the rings, weapons or shield. Maybe here too. Just pick up a bunch of cooldown, get this up to 50%, 70%. And then I think you'd be running permanent Colossus. You could have this for every fight, and these guys, you could spam them all the time. It's definitely interesting. I really enjoy the idea of it. Yeah, why don't we take a look? See if there's anything we can use to pick up more cooldown. Jesus, taking a lot of load. There we are. Alright. So for rings, let's have a look. What have we got? Oh, we have a crash. That's what we've got. Wonderful. Man, it really is. It's chugging. Okay. Oh, jeez. Alright, why don't we close this? That might make it run a little bit better. There's 22%. It's not great. You lose a ton of... yeah, that's that attack speed ring. No. You get a little bit there. Nothing... This one's probably a decent choice. You get a bunch of resistance, 12% recharge. You could maybe go for 2 of those. 20% and that's okay. I'm sure you could make something work. You go out of your way to squeeze a bit more recharge into the build. I don't actually know which ones here grant it, but yeah, you get the point. The build seems pretty good. I think it honestly, it would be better to drop these and to drop the skill itself to Ancestral Warrior and go back to how it was before, really. Using something similar to these, maybe a shield, to make up for the lack of resistances from dropping this. You can swap this out too, because it's you don't need as much strength, so you could maybe go for this one. This might be a good choice, especially if you go with a shield too. Yeah, let's give it a look. Pick you up. That's another 25, which is quite a bit. Axe. That's 10%. I'll grab you. There's another 20%. Yeah, let's give that a look. That should be a fair bit of recharge. Let's give 2 of these a go. Nah, I think the shield would come out on top. Alright, drop those. It's 25, 45, 55. That should be enough to play with. And yeah, shout out to this guy, by the way, Hacksaw. He's commented a few times on my stuff. Really nice guy. Very knowledgeable about the game too. Like, he told me something even I didn't know. I really hope I put them in this version of the character's inventory. Yep. Alrighty. So what's that do for a recharge? 80%. That's awesome. Maxed out. Well, it definitely makes getting battle standards pretty easy. Let's try these out. Yeah, it works well. It feels good to play. The skills come back permanently, so you've got this up all the time. Got this and this up constantly, and even the buff from Rally keeps up. Even that's not hard to keep up anyway, with the recharge being what it is, but Still, even our resistances are pretty good. You could fiddle with this a little bit to get your vitality and your pierce up a bit more. Easy. That wouldn't be too hard at all. Yeah, especially with energy bonus on this one. You could pick up something good there. And these aren't the perfect choices here anyway. I don't think you actually need 80%. You could probably drop 10, maybe even 20 for the shield. Really fun. I do enjoy the idea of having these though. But as I said, it does kind of fight against the bird a little bit. Alrighty, I think that'll do. If anyone has any other ideas for this kind of character, what you do with these, let me know. And that was a great suggestion, so thanks a bunch. See you around.